Hello everyone and welcome back to Alpha Protocol. Well, it's the end of the week and it's also going to be the end of the series. No matter how long this goes, no sex trafficking. There's no Mitchell sex trafficking! Fuck! Right, so Shahid wants to have a meeting. Omen Deng wants to have a meeting. Well, or rather, Omen Deng sends us information on Alpha Protocol. Mike, I have important news. I totally did it. 2 chicks at once. Hells yeah. Right, well, might as well. Wow, 2 ladies simultaneously. Did they collectively weigh less than 600 pounds? Let's not forget, big boobs don't count if she's a fat bird. That's a horrible thing to say. Still, I'm sticking with it. Right, let's see. Bullshit. And Albatross wants to have a call. Brilliant. Have we got anything interesting here? Well, I mean, wouldn't be anything interesting there. Would there be anything interesting here? No. I assume that requires a... Well, I assume to get those, it requires a different kind of connection to someone in order to get the tier 3. Right, we'll just go from the top. Scarlet Lake. Who will meet in Taipei, so she's not left Taipei.
Your door was open. You don't seem surprised. How did you know it was me?
I would have known if it wasn't you. Footsteps are like signatures.
That's an interesting skill to have picked up.
In case you haven't guessed already, I don't have much of a social life. What is it you needed, Mike? Got another story to pass along?
Yes, but it's complicated.
That so? What a surprise. Very little about you seems simple. I was pretty certain you might be Interpol or military. But my gut tells me intelligence. But none of my contacts have heard of you.
Contacts? So you've been checking up on me?
I didn't want to, but you really don't leave me much choice if I want to know the truth.
If I was intelligence, is that something you think I'd tell a journalist?
You tell me. And I'd like you to be honest with me, if you can. I think I deserve that much.
There's not much to say. I used to work for the United States government. I still do, in my own way.
What do you mean?
I'm not exactly welcome back home. When you met me in Saudi Arabia, that was my last official mission with the US. After that, I've been on my own. Except for people I've met on the way. Like you.
It doesn't sound like you've had a chance to relax in Saudi Arabia.
That's an understatement.
My military and intelligence contacts didn't have much on you.
Not surprising.
So, I checked the corporate gossip. Halbeck's taken quite an interest in you.
Let's just say Leyland and I don't see eye to eye on business practices. You ever met him?
At press conferences? Quite the snake. But that doesn't explain why Halbeck would be after you.
I accidentally discovered something in Saudi Arabia I shouldn't have. Something that could ruin Halbeck.
What did you find out?
I found they'd been selling weapons to Al Samad, and I got proof.
Is that why you're here?
I don't trust anyone else with it. And if something happens to me, then the world needs to know.
It's that bad, huh?
Pretty bad.
I'll make sure it gets where it needs to go. Are you going to be all right?
I have no idea.
Do you need to leave right now?
I do. I'm sorry.
Me too.
Thanks, Scarlet. For everything.
I haven't done anything yet, Mike. Thank me when we see each other again, all right?
Interestingly, there is in fact a... Well, at least on the PS3. I'm actually going to check. Yeah, this doesn't have Steam achievements, but on the PS3, this does have an achievement for romancing all the possible females. So that is from the top, Madison St. James, Scarlet, of course, C or Z or however you pronounce that, and Mina.
What the hell? Guess the old man gave me a false number.
Communications decrypted. Signal established.
Albatross. Your signal's weak. I can barely see you.
Agent Thornton, Mike, my apologies for the poor connection. It's the price one pays for privacy. I can only spare a few minutes, so tell me what you need, quickly.
I'm infiltrating the Alpha Protocol facility, and I need your help.
I see. This is sooner than I expected. If you think I know the location of the facility, I can't help you.
I can get there. What I need is whatever intel or manpower you can provide, once I'm inside.
If you can get in and transmit the location. But once you transmit the coordinates, you'll need to buy yourself some time before I can intervene. May I ask why you're infiltrating the agency? It seems counterproductive, not to mention the low chance of success.
I have to do this, and I have to find out the truth of what's going on there. I can pay you for your help, Albatross.
You don't need to pay me, Mike. An alliance with you and your continued survival has proven to be in my best interests. When I was at Braco's mercy, you chose to intervene. I've not forgotten. And you spared Sis when you had no reason to do so. Now it is my turn to help you.
You're not getting compassionate in your old age, are you?
Consider it a payment for services rendered. One doesn't kill the golden goose.
Or an albatross. Seems doing both would be unwise.
I would agree. Once you reach your destination, we shall prove it. Until then, I shall ensure the south wind is at your back.
Enjoy your flight. I'll see you soon.
Okay, so that's the meeting with Albatross out of the way. Now time to have a chat with Shahid. And see if he can actually, you know...
Welcome, Agent Thornton. This is the meeting I spoke of long ago in Saudi Arabia, I believe. I have much to share with you.
Is it about Halbeck?
A portion of it is yes. The rest concerns its partner, your Alpha Protocol program. But that will cost you.
I don't have much more to give, Shahid. And I did spare your life before.
You know as well as I do. These events that Halbeck has set in motion, they are not well researched. They are conflicts. And then there are wars. What they have started, it is a fire that will sweep the globe.
And that concerns you?
When these events will make my country suffer more than it deserves? Yes. And when another may shoulder the rightful blame? Again, yes.
Rightful blame.
Indeed. Are you prepared to betray your own country, Agent Thornton? When I speak of blame, it is the United States that is the one responsible for these events.
I'm not betraying my country, and certainly not for you.
Is Alpha Protocol your country? Or is it one of its lies under the guise of the United States?
Halbeck's my enemy, not the United States, or whoever Alpha Protocol claims to be working for.
And if they are the same thing?
Then you don't understand the situation.
I do. More than you, I think. But you have come for help, or simply to call a favor due. I have information that should be of use to you in hurting Halbeck. Accounts, transactions, and knowledge of their involvement with your program. And of course, the missile codes you asked for. Although I fail to see what use they are to you.
That's a start.
A start?
Yes. I need you to broadcast something for me. I have a suspicion that's going to cause quite a stir where I'm headed.
Okily dokily. So that's those done. I'm just going to quickly have a check at the email. Stephen Hex. I often wonder how it is you could so easily pull the trigger on my friends and could not bring yourself to kill me. Perhaps there are two kinds of justice in the American mind. Mercy for the rich and influential, slaughter for the nameless stranger. Well, there's also the fact that the rich and influential can actually do a lot more to change the world. Which is, you know, it's callous, but it's true. Right. Endgame, motherfucker. So, we can pick from the handlers. If we pick C, I think it might depend a little bit on her reputation level, although you can't really get her reputation level that high anyway. So this is how you romance C. You pick her as your handler. Then there's of course Stephen Heck, and there's Albatross, who I'm going to pick because, as I said, I quite like Albatross, I quite like G22.
Everything's in place. How about you?
It shouldn't be much longer.
Are you safe?
Probably safer than you. Mike, if this doesn't work...
Goodbye, Mina. Mind if I sit here?
Go ahead. It'll save me from having to call in the squad. All done running?
Never was.
Yeah, well, whatever you call it, I'm here to bring you in. Glad you're not making a fuss about this.
I called you, remember?
Okay, so enemy sight range -10. That's actually quite good. Allied with Albatross. Okay. So we're going to get G22 reinforcements. Omendeng and Ronaldsong have set up a server and are waiting for you to transfer intel. So we've got that, that's good.
So, here we are, Agent Thornton.
Guess you can go home again.
If by home you mean prison. Mr. Westridge first spoke to you in this room, didn't he?
Interrogated, actually. It was a really dull conversation.
When he asked you why you volunteered for Alpha Protocol, do you remember what you told him?
It was my duty. I wanted to serve my country. I want to serve my country.
And you think by being assigned here is the best way to do that?
Give me a mission and I'll prove it.
Does it feel good being a patriot now, Mike? Looking back, everything you did for your country, was it worth it? Because they're not going to do a damn thing for you. They left you out to dry. That's the nature of this place. You'll have to excuse me, but I asked for this next part to be recorded for posterity. I wanted to make sure it's captured perfectly.
It was worth it. I'm gonna see this mission through, Leyland. Henry. I'm gonna see you arrested for those people you killed and see that Halbeck answers for its crimes.
Really?
Count on it.
All right, Thornton. I think you misunderstand me. You see, I'm not here to gloat. I'm here to offer you a deal.
I'm not giving up the film footage, see?
I don't care, Mike. That's a separate appointment in my calendar. Right now, we're discussing you and Halbeck.
What are you talking about?
If you stay here, it isn't going to turn out well for you. The best you could have hoped for was to be captured by Alpha Protocol. Then they can erase you, quietly. To me, that seems like a waste of talent.
Really?
Really? Do you know why I used you in the first place?
I'm all ears.
Because I recognize an asset when I see it. That is the reason Halbeck is where it is today, and why our numbers are so high. It's also why Mr. Marburg chose to work for me. It's because I recognize value, and I reward loyalty.
You're offering me a job.
Mike, you already work for me. I just like to make it official. We have an excellent insurance package.
What makes you think I'd even consider that?
Because you can't go back. Those Marines you killed in Moscow, no American agent gets away with that in the end. You're not pretending to be a rogue agent anymore. You are one. They'll execute you. Me, I have a different perspective on the situation. I know what you did needed to be done to achieve results. It's a rare quality to find someone willing to think outside the box.
I still haven't heard your terms yet. And it sounds like you've made this offer before.
This was the same talk Marburg and I had a long time ago, although I didn't know his agency connection when I hired him. You're a special case. I was able to recruit right from the source. So, a few things. One, you're going to be executed at worst, or at best, spend life in a CIA prison in Eastern Europe. Two, this will be the last conversation you will have with another human being. And three, it really wasn't my fault that this whole situation happened, but I think you already recognize that.
I'm listening.
Mike, your government needed my contracts. They hired me to build this place, and worst of all, they created you.
Worst of all?
Yes, because when they create programs like this, there's no accountability. And when people never have to answer for the things they do...
People need to be protected. Sometimes it's necessary.
No, it's not. You're sitting in a cell because of it. Your life over. Because of something they did, they'll never have to answer for. I can fix that. We can fix that.
How?
Make them accountable. I don't need Alpha Protocol anymore. It's going to be shut down, sanitized. But if selected footage reached the world about its presence, well, that might be the best for all parties.
What? So you can make new hostilities, drive up sales?
My role in this is already protected. You got my missiles back. Shahid is dead, and all your operations in Taipei, Moscow, Rome, it didn't change anything. I can give you freedom, a new lease on life, even a villa of your choosing anywhere in the world. All I need is your cooperation. So, is it a deal or not? A future or no future at all?
So, I say yes. Now what happens?
Any moment, soldiers are going to come through that door and take you back to the medical bay you started this whole business in. Me, they could care less about, as long as I'm still around to negotiate with senators and forget I ever saw anything here.
So all I need to do is escape. And then... what?
You have friends as well as enemies. One will contact you soon enough, I imagine. You're resourceful that way. You won't have much time until they sanitize this facility and destroy all the existing records. You'll need to get that data, and I doubt the staff will allow you to reach it.
So you want me to expose this place?
Yes, I have a vested interest in seeing this program be dragged out into the light.
All right.
There is one other thing. Miss Tang, Mina, the one who helped you, I'm afraid she'll have to be killed.
She's here?
Yes, we were able to intercept her before she left. She put up quite a fight, but unfortunately she was captured. So now that needs to be corrected. I'm asking you to do it.
Why?
If you need a reason, speak to her. You'll understand why after the conversation.
I doubt it.
We'll see. Are you ready, Mike? The grand finale's about to begin. Once the soldiers come through that door, it's going to be you against the world.
You know, I don't like you much.
This, Mike, is business, and I really don't care. For the record, I think you're a pain in the ass, but I prefer to see results and not let emotions bleed into it.
Let's get this started then.
I almost feel sorry for them.
Don't. I'll make it quick.
Agent Thornton, allowing yourself to be captured, making us go through the effort of bringing you here. Well done.
I'm surprised you haven't figured it out yet, Marburg. I know your history. I know the United States left you out to dry. Deus Vult, all of it. But it doesn't seem like you learned anything from it. You served Deus Vult blindly, and now you're answering to Leyland and Halbeck.
Your point?
Trading one master for another, Marburg? Seems to me blind loyalty is what got you here in the first place. Everything you know about Leyland should tell you what your future is.
I don't expect I'll see you again, Agent Thornton. Your mission ends here.
Doc will be along in just a bit to administer your meds. Nice knowing you, Thornton.
Is it really? Anyway, getting back to what I said I can't remember if it was in the last bit or the bit before that. I think it was in the bit before that when we meet Surkov for the first time, because the point with that is that mission debriefing tells us that we've killed American Marines, we've killed American soldiers. Now, I haven't, and I always attribute that to the VCI assaulting the building. However, the one thing I have never done is I've never chosen C as my handler, because I always assume that that is going to be an immediately violent solution.
What the hell is going on with the electronics in here?
Now the thing with that is, I can only assume that the Marines will have to die, because for the ending to happen the way it does happen, Jesus fucking Christ, that discussion with Leland has to be had, which means there has to be some kind of, you know, some kind of sort of Damocles has to hang over Mike while that happens, because Jesus fucking Christ, how about you don't? So there needs to be some kind of pressing reason to possibly join Halbech, which is what I have in this done.
You're not getting far. I'll be watching you.
For a very simple reason, which will become apparent in the end. Camera angle fuckery. So I think it's just a situation where those American Marines will die in any case, simply because that seems to be what is required for the story to actually conclude in the way that they've written it. Outside of that, Jesus fucking Christ. Oh, that was close. Right.
This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill.
Damn.
So we can either download the files or contact Parker. Contacting Parker is
Agent?
slightly
Just
difficult.
Mike Thornton now, with the rank stripped away. Never understood why we had titles anyway. Meaningless. I don't understand why you wanted to speak to me. If you think I can help you, you're wrong.
We'll see. I think you'll want to hear what I have to say. Parker, the plan you arranged with Halbech, it's not going to work.
Really? Doubtful. I thought there was a chance you might return. You are resourceful, even for a rogue agent.
Well, I have you all to thank for being rogue, don't I? I thought it would just be a cover, but you made it real.
If you blame me for this, then you're in error. Miss Tang is to blame.
You're saying Mina gave me up? And she ordered the missile strike?
The first was done by her, yes. The second was the result of orders we received. She was not responsible for that. I would have preferred you return here, where you could be monitored. As you can see, letting you run around is dangerous. And, despite your flaws, you are a valuable resource.
I don't believe Mina would give me up.
I don't care what you believe, but I have no reason to lie to you. Now, what do you want? There's little I can do for you, so make it quick.
You're betraying your own country, Parker. Whatever you think you're doing, it's wrong.
No, my country has authorized this, Mike. Although no one will ever know. If you think to appeal to my patriotism by defining it as betrayal, Halbech's interests had to be protected because it's our national interests.
So that makes Leyland in charge now? Of an entire branch of a U.S. agency?
No. We were ordered to assist him in recovering his missiles, in assassinating Shahid, and then killing you. He was given access to the facility and our resources.
But why?
Why did we cooperate? There's no reason to ask why.
You can't tell me that you didn't suspect something was wrong.
Nothing was wrong, Thornton. As I said, Halbeck had proper authorization. They asked permission, and they got it.
And Westridge didn't object?
No, because like me, he follows orders. We were asked to get an agent to do Leyland's job and to contract me for my services.
Services? What services?
I was asked to isolate events in the world and create triggers. While many of these triggers would benefit Halbeck, a great deal would benefit the United States. China grows more powerful by the day. They are Halbeck customers as well, and if they are reliant on Halbeck technology, they are reliant on us. Even better, if they can be lured into action in Taiwan, well, then it buys us time to build strength.
And Moscow? Rome?
Rome was a reminder to the rest of Europe. Moscow, a necessary distribution center.
And the people on the airliner in the Middle East?
Those deaths, they are nothing compared to the death toll that would follow if these steps were not taken.
You're responsible for everything that happened. You gave them the plan for all of this. Sung, the museum in Rome, that airliner.
I wouldn't expect you to understand, Thornton. But yes, the government asked me to design scenarios to promote America's position in the world, and to strengthen Halbeck as well. It was the most interesting assignment I've had in years. To use my analytical skills for something besides system maintenance or compiling budget reports. For a project of my own. So yes, I accepted the assignment. And I did what I do best. Analyzed.
Provided you had all the information.
I did have all the information.
No. No, you didn't. Parker Shaheed isn't dead. I didn't kill him in Saudi Arabia. That missile never hit him. He'll be broadcasting in an hour. What you said about Moscow, that distribution center is shut down, and I found the real source there. Surkov's now working for me, and he has all the evidence I need to bring this place down. Taipei, the op you had there, where I ran into Omen, he's still alive, and he didn't appreciate being used any more than I did. He'll be pitching in too, along with the rest of China.
I know you well enough, Agent. I assume you have proof of this.
You're a logical guy, Parker. With what I told you, how do you think this is going to play out? Your mistake's not going to look good on a field report, or the nightly news. But it doesn't have to be your mistake.
I take it you have a plan?
Yeah, you've been drafted. So you better start making yourself useful right now.
Let's move it!
Get him. Here comes the cavalry. Flush him out.
Right, let's just turn this off. Right, so let's have a look at the service record again, because we've got a couple of new things. First of all, oh my god, we've got a lot of because we could get that up, but more important at this point is let's get that hard to kill up. We can't quite get it all the way up, but we can do a little bit of that. Let's put the rest into weapon balancing. There we go. So back into service record, into traits or perks, whatever. So we've got a couple. Let's see. There we go. Agent of Change. In a remarkable act of manipulation, you managed to sway Conrad Marburg's sense of duty. Logical deduction, you defied improbable odds by reasoning with Alan Parker and actually convincing him that he's genuinely wrong. So we got a couple of reduced cooldowns, but more importantly, we did get the that side of the story. First of all, we got that side of the story. We know who really turned us rogue, which was Mina. Oh, well, doesn't look like that's gonna activate. Is there anything that needs to be hacked? Doesn't seem to.
Detected a rupture in the facility's flood control system.
You're telling me. I think they're washing the place clean.
That means they're doing the same with the data as well. You'll need to get to the surface quickly.
Comes the cavalry.
Well, that was a bit of a silly boot. Right.
Right. Where are you? You're needed at the monitoring center.
Okay, we'll just take a breather here. Let everything... Well, we let the endurance build back up. 160, that's good.
You made it out, I see. Resourceful. But before you get to the server room, there's one last loose end. Miss Tang. She'll need to be dealt with. If we let her live, shutting down Alpha Protocol won't matter. We'll soon have other problems.
Okay, so now what I need to do is I think I need to go this way. Yeah, this way, so I need to...
Hurry. My men can't hold a position much longer.
deal with me now.
I hope I can count on you, Gordon. Leyland out.
So, have I got... I do have an EMP charge, which I won't be able to... Oh! It just doesn't show the arc for some reason. Did it get both of them? No, it did not, but it did get one of them.
Mike?
Mina.
I thought you were dead.
Why?
I heard they'd taken you into custody. After everything that happened, I didn't think they'd let you go.
They didn't.
You escaped? Mike, what's wrong? You sound different.
Who are you actually working for? Judging from the fact you're locked in this room, it's not Alpha Protocol.
No, it's not. Infiltrating this place, using the personnel here, that was my assignment. For every program like Alpha Protocol that tries to stay off the radar, an agency like mine is ordered to find them and watch them. Sometimes we succeed.
Why did you bring me into it? Just curious.
Westridge, Parker, Darcy, none of them could have been turned. You were new. I had a chance, but I couldn't tell you everything.
You're wrong. But at this point, it doesn't matter. I need to erase all evidence I was here, and that means tying up all the loose ends. I'm not gonna kill you. You were just doing your job. So was I. Hopefully you've come to the realization that the job's not what's important. I'm letting you go. Report back to your bosses, whatever you want, but advise them to stay out of my way. I've got work to do.
I understand.
Good. If I were you, I'd find a way out of here as quickly as possible. As bad as they are now, things are gonna get a lot worse.
I'll do what I can to shut down the security systems and divert them here somewhere. Go on ahead. I'll circle around and get to the terminal.
Jesus, what?
If you see Darcy, save some for me.
Okay, so one of the turrets is actually actively trying to and failing to shoot me now. That's absolutely fucking wonderful. Oh, that's just that's special. However, Mina can take care of herself. She's a strong, independent woman who set us up, so fucking she better be able to take care of herself. Oakley dokily, and on we go to what can be referred to as the next betrayal. I think we actually went to. Oh yeah, I'm gonna reload a checkpoint just so we can get the. I hope the checkpoint wasn't there because there's a little bit of story that I did forget to do. Please don't be a checkpoint right there. Okay, it is. So there's a little bit of story that will now be hidden, but that doesn't matter. While I wouldn't recommend anyone play this game for themselves, it is available on Steam, and actually I don't think it's even that expensive. I think it's about a tenner. So with that in mind, the missing piece of the story that will now not be told concerns actually Scarlet, of all people. So, yes indeed, it concerns Scarlet and what her actual role in the whole thing is, because, I mean,
I suggest you get to the center now, or you'll lose what little help you have.
You're not getting far. I'll be watching you.
As everyone probably is, has or will be able to deduce, Scarlet would, of course, Scarlet has an actual active role in the story due to the fact that, she's one of the people we meet, and there we go. Don't update security protocols, you fucking ninny. Anyway, so she actually has an active role in the story and the events that take place, which is very interesting considering that she does kind of get relegated a little bit off to the side, especially after Taipei. So it's very cool that she actually does have her own story arc and does actually have her own character arc. Which again, the female characters in this, aside from C, who is basically just a sexual stereotype, are actually quite good. Like the female characters are very well written. Actually, basically all the characters are very well written, and the writing and the story and the dialogue system are the saving graces of this game. If this game was to stand on just the combat system alone, it would be atrocious.
He's the data banks. Stop him before he destroys the evidence, or we'll have nothing.
Contact.
In minutes, all records of this facility will be destroyed.
One of the interesting things about the story is that you are unable to get all of the story you can't get on one playthrough, and that's not just because of the binary decisions interlaced in the actual story. Let's take care of the combat, get a nice quiet moment going. Oh dear. I've run out of actual factual pistol ammo. I'm gonna have to swap to these and to this because I'm not gonna use the steel cores if I don't have to.
In minutes, all records of this facility will be destroyed. All the major files now. Files are copied to draw their fire. They should be all you need to bring Hal back down.
Christ, that's a terrible, terrible gun. I think I'm going to have to swap this to armor-piercing ammo as well, because these guys do actually have body armor. So, as I was saying, the interesting thing about the story and how it's done is, as with any game with binary decisions, which this most certainly is, there's no way to get the full story, all of the story, on one playthrough, and that's partially down to the fact that you need to make those binary decisions at some point. You need to decide, you know, are you going to save, you know, Ronald Sung? Well, are you going to inform Ronald Sung of the assassination or about the riots? For example, that's one of the key binary decisions that does have an impact, because, well, don't really want to again spoil that side of the story.
The evidence, but I cut off your escape route and your air.
But suffice it to say that there's actually quite a lot of you know, story happening on that side of the thing as well. But more importantly, there's also a lot of small stories, a lot of side stories that you can't get every time. For example, there is in fact a possibility where Parker will die. Conrad Marburg, for example, can also die not only in Rome, but there's another point in the story where he can die. Then there's even additional secret story about Madison St. James, who dies in Rome. I mean, you can of course save her as well, but there's so much that can happen. Oh dear.
They've taken out our air support.
Of course. Otherwise it would have been too easy.
Head for the wreckage. Some G-22 may have survived. If not, there may be supplies.
Indeed. So, with that in mind, like, even just around, for example, the decision, you know, are you going to save Madison or defuse the bombs? And from that point, will you find out the secret story about Madison? And how that can affect the story. There's a lot of nuance to the writing, and I would say that it requires at least 3 or 4 playthroughs to get most of the story. Because even though the actual main story of the game is very important and it's very interesting, and like that is the main meat of the whole espionage thing.
Good to see you. Glad you made it out here to our live fire range.
Well,
No more
you,
practice
my
runs
sir,
for you.
are
This is the real
conned.
deal. Keep him busy. I'll be back in a second.
Keep him busy, I'll be back in a second.
Come on now. Looks like it's all up to me. Again. Looks like it's all up to me. Again.
Right, so we'll just hide here.
Get it. Get it. Get it.
Stay down. Stand in the way. Looks like it's all up to me. Again.
Right, so if we stay behind cover too long, he will throw shit at us, but more importantly, we'll get these out.
Mikey, we got this whole place covered. Only wish Mina could see me kick your ass, Mikey.
When he pokes his ugly fucking mug, you shoot at him.
Got something for you. Oh, don't be a poor sport, Mikey. Come out where I can see you. Coming your way. Now where'd you go?
Well, if Darcy's going to be a poor sport about it, so am I, so... Oh, there we go. Right, pokey pokey, motherfucker. 3 rounds there, 1 round there, and 1 round...
Is that Sean Darcy?
Yeah. Do you know him?
His father. Yes. This may have repercussions. Hurry if you can. Mr. Westridge is already making his preparations to leave.
So, that's 2 of the 3 loose ends tied. That's, well, that's actually 3 of the 4, if we count Mina. So we've got Parker's in our side, so is
Have you
Mina.
reached the crash site?
No, there's a helicopter in the way.
EMPs and incendiaries, as well as your usual arsenal, should do the trick.
Right, first of all, I'd like to really get rid of these guys. However, that doesn't seem to be an entirely full option, so... we'll just run that out. Okay, well... you, my good friend, can come down here and get fucked.
Get it.
Now, the question, does this count as a boss fight? Well, not really. However, it is annoying.
location.
So that just pointed your squad to my location, not the fact that there was a helicopter shooting at me. First of all, Westridge, get fucked. Secondly, you aren't quite as good at this whole thing as you think you are. Thirdly, I've got a missile launcher. It's a rocket launcher, to be honest.
Satellites picked up a boat headed toward the island. Must be Westridge's ride. He was in charge here. We'll move to intercept. I suggest you do the same.
Alright, we'll just... take that guy down. Is there anything? Oh, just trank rounds. Nothing really interesting. Anything fun here? No, just another point of no return, which is fair enough.
Thornton, right below you is the facility dry dock. It seems our Mr. Westridge is flooding the tunnels and planning to escape by boat.
Well, we can't have that, can we? At least not without saying goodbye.
Deal with him, and then we're going to take the boat ourselves.
Sounds like a plan. I'm on it.
I do hate that they throw the bullshit. Right, well. Will you please come out? Yeah, there we go. I really would prefer not to do this, because then I'm gonna have to wait for it to reload. But that doesn't really matter, because we are steps away from the final confrontation. That's kind of like one of the turrets in Half-Life. It's a little bit sad, but then again, it does not matter. Right, we've got... oh, we do have an EMP now, so we can use that. Alright, let's just wait for that to quickly tick over, and that's it, that's close enough.
The transport I detected earlier, it's within range of the docks, and the bays are filling fast.
So, final confrontation with Westridge. Here we come.
Nice job, Mike. But I can't let you leave with that data. Give up now, and we'll go easy on you.
Fuck off, Westridge. Just make sure you don't run away before we get to chat.
Take him out.
So, he says, you know, he'll take it easy on me.
Mike, the transport I detected earlier, it's within range of the docks, and the bays are filling fast. You need to stop Westridge before he escapes.
That's gonna leave a scar.
On it.
Watch out! Keep the water flowing. It shouldn't be long until we can launch the boat.
Well, we'll just fucking camp here then. There we go. That's not how I remember it going, but fair enough.
Not a chance. Now that I've got your attention...
If you're gonna kill me, Then do it.
I'm not sure I want to. Yet. I guess I need some closure. I volunteered for this program, but I couldn't have made it into Alpha Protocol if you hadn't chosen me. What I want to know is why.
I needed someone who could kill Shahid, get the missiles back, and keep their mouth shut. I needed someone I could trust.
I didn't have much choice. Orders and all.
That's your defense? Then it's mine too. I had my orders. We carry them out, send out agents, and we don't ask why. Say what you will. You had what it took to get the job done, and then some. That's why you were selected.
It was my life.
What life? You knew the odds going in. You wanted to serve your country. Well, this is it.
If I stayed in the program, I'd have ended up like you. Or worse, like Parker. Then someone would have come along who owes one of their corporate buddies a favor, Halbeck or someone else. And we get used because we've been conditioned never to ask.
So you're working with Halbeck now? Figures.
We were all working for them. Now I've just removed you from the equation.
What? You gunning for a job? Halbeck's new chief of security?
My goals are a little higher than that. Any last words?
Yeah. Go to hell.
Not the best I've heard, but... Yancey Westridge, I'm placing you under arrest. You're going down with the ship. They may not blow this place, and if they don't, then your home is going to be a courtroom for the next few years. If you even get that far. They'll probably claim you were acting without their knowledge. That you enacted Alpha Protocol, went rogue.
Where are you going?
Now that I'm out of the box, it's my world now. I helped shape it. It was easier than I thought. And it's time to make some changes, I think. Give me a year or two. I'll have enough on Halbeck that I'll be running the show. For now, Chief of Security in a villa in Italy is enough for me. And who knows? When they make another Alpha Protocol, maybe I'll use it, just like Leyland did. Opportunity knocks, Westridge. And it's people like you that leave the door open. Either way, you'll answer to me eventually.
Well.
Agent Thornton, I see you have the evidence.
Took some doing, but here you go. Keep it safe. Or not, depending on how you want to use it.
I'm still debating that part. I think it'll depend on what happens in the next few hours. If there's nothing else, shall we?
Here's the thing, Leyland. I don't really need you anymore.
Oh? And how do you figure that?
I traveled all over the world to stop you. You think I didn't make a network of my own? I have Surkov in Moscow. Shahid and Al-Samad. They may not like me, but both are willing to do business with me. I've got one of the highest-ranking officers of the Chinese secret police on my side. Stephen Heck. G-22. Z. Then there's Parker. I think I could use his little talent to really stir things up. So, I don't need you anymore. I can make my own Halbeck. Then I can make the world any way I want.
I see. So, you're going to kill me then?
No, just leave you here. You're responsible for this whole mess, so I think it's better you stay and answer all the questions that are gonna come out.
And what makes you think?
See you, Leyland. You taught me a lot. Now I'm gonna teach you a few things about how to shape the world.
Mission accomplished, Agent?
Just Mike, if you please. Let's get out of here.
Where to?
I have no idea. I don't even know where here is. Surprise me.
And with that, the
That could
cheesiest
change.
of endings.
What's that supposed to mean?
You're not the most predictable person, Mike. Keeping up with you is a lot of work.
Well,
With the
we've made it this
cheesiest of
far.
endings,
I think we're done with surprises for a
Alpha
while.
Protocol comes to a
We'll see.
close. So,
I bet there's one or two more in our future.
as always, first of all, thank you for possibly sitting through this massively long, hour-long episode. And please join me on Monday when we're going to be starting a new series. D4 Dark Dreams Don't Die. We're going to delve back into Swery65's weird ass psyche. More importantly, tomorrow on Saturday will be coming a video. I'm going to be playing the rest of Among the Sleep, and of course on Sunday, please join me once again for the 8-hour stream. This time it'll be Witcher 3 on Death March difficulty, as suggested by, well, as voted for by viewers, starting at UK 1 PM. Anything else here? Anything super sneaky? And no. So that's the credits. So once again, thank you for joining me for this, and I hope to see you next time. Until then, goodbye.